We always get a lot of questions related to house or houses and how they fit into your retirement plan. On today's video, we're going to talk about some of the most common real estate questions we get when it comes to retirement planning. Hi everyone, Logan Sadler. Thanks for stopping by the Financial Beat YouTube channel. For those of you that haven't already, go ahead and check out some of our other videos. Again, good videos related all across the financial spectrum there and some good education for you. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and click subscribe. Today's video, I wanted to talk about some of the most common real estate questions we get. For those of you that don't know, we really specialize in retirement planning. So a lot of our clients have typically accumulated assets. They might have real estate, stock market, 401ks, a lot of different things. And it really comes down to a great conversation as we get later in life of what's the best thing to do with that real estate, or what's the best way to handle this when it comes to an estate planning perspective. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So the first thing I like to talk about, which again, this is one of my favorite things to talk about because there really is no right answer, but you'll see so many people side on the different side of the fence here. One of the questions that we get all the time is, should I pay off my mortgage on my primary home? Right? So it's funny, but believe it or not, don't tell everyone, but there's actually a whole group of people out there that have a 2% or a 3% or a 4% mortgage that again will enjoy that over the next 30 years on that mortgage, or 15 years. And a lot of the questions comes down to, hey, I'm getting ready to retire. I might have a lump sum of cash at 200,000 or 300,000. I still have a retirement plan. I have a 401k. I have other things. But should I pay down that mortgage? Now, here's where a lot of people side on this, is there is a good thing that's called cheap money, right? There is such a thing. Now, if you're looking at a 2 or 3 or 4% loan over 30 years, a lot of people say, well, couldn't I invest that money and do better over that time frame? And the answer a lot of the times is yes. Depending on where you're putting your money, you should be able to produce a return that's 2, 3, or 4%, probably plus that. And that way you still have your cash. We're big believers in that, mainly because a lot of us have unexpected things that are going to come up down the road. We might even move and sell that house, right? And the problem with that is, even though we paid it off and let's say it's worth $800,000, that still fluctuates, right? When we sell it, it might only be worth $600 or $700 or $900. We don't know the answer to that. So a lot of the times, just because we paid it off and we're going to sell it down the road, it doesn't necessarily mean we still have that hunk of cash sitting there. The other reason is, again, if we've invested money properly with the other cash, we would have a whole group of cash that's now available to deploy for long-term care, unexpected emergencies, relocating, a bunch of different things that will come up by keeping your cash and investing it differently than just putting it all into the home. The other reason we see this a lot is a lot of us will tend to, again, relocate in retirement. A lot of us will downsize in retirement. And that's why it kind of leads us to thinking most of the time it is better to hold on to your cash and invest it somewhere else that typically might produce a better return. The other side of that fence, where if you're one of those people listening where that didn't quite fall into your category, we have a lot of clients where maybe that mortgage is huge. Maybe you still owe $400,000 or $500,000 or $600,000 in the mortgage. Our interest rate's 4 or 5 or 6 or 7%. And when you're going to retire, your income might only be, let's say, $10,000 a month, and your mortgage is $6,000 a month, right? It doesn't leave a lot of flexibility in the retirement plan. That means we would significantly have to start paying that house down so we could even afford to retire or look at downsizing or relocating. So it's not always the best thing to do is not pay off the house. I think it really comes down to your situation and where you lie. Again, if you have a lot of income in retirement where things will be super flexible, you have a low interest rate, an affordable payment, then I probably would recommend to not pay off the house. If you're on the other side where income might be real low in retirement and the payment might be real high and the interest is real high, it might be best to pay that off. So you want to make sure you're working with someone that can give you the advice and see really where you lie and see what the best course of action is for that. The next thing we see a lot with real estate is, should I downsize? Again, I mentioned it before and I've said it a lot on this show. We deal with it a lot specifically just with retirees that are planning for retirement. So that is something that comes up. We talk with clients every day where they're relocating, they're going to Colorado, Idaho, Arizona, wherever the case is, and they might even be downsizing when they're moving there. And they'll ask, is that a smart idea? And the answer is a lot of the times, yes. A lot of us, as we get older, we just want less to take care of, right? We want it as easy as possible. A lot of the times, maybe it's a 2-story house. We don't want a 2-story house anymore. We want a single story. Some of us might have a 5,000 square foot house and want to go to a 1,000 square foot house, right? There's no right or wrong answer, but we do see it a lot where clients a lot of the times do tend to downsize to some sort because it does make things a little bit more just easier and makes things a little bit more easy to maintain for your lifestyle. And a lot of you might be traveling or seeing grandkids, so that does play into the conversation a lot of when we'll recommend it might be time to possibly downsize. The other thing is we have a lot of clients that might already own real estate. We have a lot of our clients that come in and they're getting ready to retire. They might have 2 or 3 rental homes, a 401k, a pension, Social Security, a lot of different assets. And they're asking, well, real estate's been a good investment for me so far. Should I just be putting more money in real estate, or what should I be doing? And I'll be honest, a lot of our clients that we deal with, a lot of them aren't buying more real estate in their retirement. A lot of them don't envision being a landlord in their golden years. A lot of the times they might be offloading some real estate. Now, we're not one of those advisory firms that thinks real estate's bad or is going to tell you to sell your home. We just know that a lot of our clients, they don't want the headache that they might have had being a landlord, and they might be looking for an exit strategy. Yes, it's been a good cash flow vehicle. It's appreciated really well, and that means there might be tax liabilities. Well, we actually work with a strategy where we're able to maybe get out of active real estate and look at passive real estate through a 1031 exchange, where you're able to offload it, do a tax-free exchange, and it's a great estate planning tool because it's real estate, right? So your beneficiaries will still get stepped up cost basis off current tax laws, and you're able to get out of being a landlord. It's a good way for you to officially retire. A great thing we do with our clients called the DST. It's something that doesn't fit everybody, but it can be a great option if you're looking to exit real estate, maybe with all of it or some of it, depending on your situation, but you don't want to pay taxes yet, and you still need cash flow from it. It can be a great fit for that. As well as we have clients that say, listen, Logan, I got 3 rental houses, never had a problem with any of them. Cash flow is great. I don't owe much or anything on it. And what do you think about keeping them? Then that's great. Real estate can be a great asset class to include into a retirement plan. It has great cash flow. A lot of them have good appreciation. It's a good diversifier, and it can pass on, like I was mentioning, pretty tax friendly to a lot of our heirs. So it's just something that you really got to weigh out and look at what your situation is and see what is the best fit for you and your family from an overall perspective, and see how that plugs in to that retirement plan. So those are the 3 common conversations that we're having a lot with clients in relationship to real estate. If you fall into those categories, hopefully I gave you some good insight on what we would talk about, or what you would talk about with a good advisor in relationship to that. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and thanks for stopping by the Financial Beat YouTube channel. We'll see you next week.